SEC is the body that governs all the sale and offer of securities, whether by private entities or by public entities, right? However, if you know, in India, the security, SEBI for that matter, the Security Exchange Board of India, right? They only govern public entities and the shares which are listed on the stock exchange. However, SEC in the US governs the sale of securities not only from public entities but also from private entities, right? So now, the kind of way or the kind of formality that needs to be taken care of there is, any time that a security is offered or sold, it has to be registered with the SEC. Okay, so it has to be mandatorily registered with the SEC. Whether a private company is doing that, whether to one shareholder, everything is irrespective. As soon as securities are offered and sold, they need to be registered with the SEC. But there are exceptions. Okay, there are certain exempted transactions which are found under Regulation D of the Securities Act 1933. Okay, Regulation D under the Securities Act of 1933 has all the exempted transactions in which, when securities are sold, they need not be registered with SEC. Exempt offerings, right? Under the Regulation D of Securities Act 1933. Within this, there are 5 to 6 type of exempt offerings: private placements under Rule 506, general solicitation under Rule 506C, limited offerings under Rule 504, regulation crowdfunding, Regulation A, intra-state offerings, and employee stock options. These are the exempted transactions in which, when securities are offered and sold, they need not be registered with SEC. In fact, what else needs to be done instead? A form called Form D needs to be filed with the SEC within 15 days of offering such securities. Right? Sorry. Within selling such securities, right? So again, let me recap. The Securities Exchange Commission of USA is the federal body that governs and regulates the offer and sale of all types of securities, whether given by public entities or by private entities, regardless. Okay, whenever a sale of security is happening, it has to be mandatorily registered with SEC. However, transactions called exempt offerings, which are found under Regulation D of Securities Act 1933, they are the exempted transactions and they need not be registered with SEC. Instead, Form D, SEC Form D, has to be filed within 15 days of selling such securities. There are specific requirements that need to be met for it to be termed as a private placement. Only then can it be also called as an exempt offering. Okay, then we have general solicitation. Simply put, a company can also offer and sell its securities to accredited investors. Accredited investors are the type of investors which say are loan companies, financial institutions, insurance institutions, etc. There is a whole list, once you go through this page and you will kind of read through the FAQs, there is a whole list of who all are the accredited investors. Now, whenever offering of securities is done to accredited investors, they are going to fall under Rule 506C and it is going to be exempted. Then limited offerings. This is applicable when a company wishes to offer a maximum of 10 million within a 12-month period. Because a very small or a very limited offering is made in a span of 12 months, it is also going to come under the exempted transaction. And what is the maximum ceiling of that? $10 million. Okay, so if any company is offering up to $10 million in a space of 12 months, they will fall under Rule 504, right? Then regulation crowdfunding. If you see, US has this concept of crowdfunding, right? What is the specific name of that website that is very famous for its crowdfunding? There is a specific name, guys, where I see a ton of crowdfunding happening in the US, you know. GoFundMe, Kickstarter. Yeah, correct, right? So these are regulated crowdfunding portals whereby if a company is offering securities through these crowdfunding platforms, that will also be part of an exempted offering, right? So for example, GoFundMe, Kickstarter, etc. These are your regulated crowdfunding portals, and any offering of securities happening through these will be under exemptions, right? Then Regulation A is another type of investment under Securities Act 1933, whereby public offerings are dealt with, but for this particular regulation to be attracted, the company needs to offer a range from $20 million to $75 million within a 12-month span. Okay, so for any company to fall under Regulation A, they need to offer securities from $20 million to $75 million in a span of 12 months. And there are different tiers for them, tier 1 and tier 2. I'm not going to confuse you on this. Everything is there on the website. All you need to do is just go through and just read through it once in order to understand everything. And then if there are any more doubts, I can definitely take it up one-on-one. Okay. Then when we scroll down, we also see intrastate, which is basically simply put, any company, say a company is incorporated in the state of Delaware. Okay, now they are incorporated, established in the state of Delaware. They are doing most of their business within the state of Delaware. In this case, if this company wants to sell its shares only to residents of Delaware, it is going to come under the ambit of intrastate offerings. Intrastate basically means within the state. Interstate means between two states. Okay, intra and inter. So intrastate offering is where a company which is organized or established in that state does most of its business in that state itself and wants to sell its shares to residents of that state only. Will that entire thing come under intrastate offerings, and that will also be exemption, right? And then the last one is employee stock options. So they are anyway going to be under the exceptions of Securities Act 1933, and only a Form D needs to be filed for all these exempted transactions. As simple as that. Okay, is this clear to everybody? Mehul, let's, right? So if a private entity wants to now wants to undergo an IPO, in that case Form S1 needs to be filed, right? So Form S1 is basically for all types of transactions which are not coming under the ambit of exempt transactions, right? And Form D for all transactions under the exempt transactions.